A Model X crushed like a tin can, insurance scams, bad decisions, lying drivers, and full self-driving miracles. All this and more is coming up on this week's episode of
Wham Baam, Teslacam, hope you're satisfied.
Tobias was driving his Model 3 on Highway A20, a stretch notorious for pileups, and today would be no exception. He was driving in the right lane and could see from a distance that cars in the left lane were stopping. Suddenly, he saw the driver of a black BMW apply heavy braking before bumping into a gray Mitsubishi. Right after that, he saw the driver of a blue Model X braking hard, and he swerved right to give other drivers space to evade. That's when he heard a loud bang next to him. The Tesla Model X had stopped in time, but the drivers of two VW vans behind it didn't react quickly enough and shoved the Model X into the black BMW. The commercial VW vans were owned by the same company, so Tobias thinks this will end up causing some interesting conversations around the office water cooler. Emergency responders reacted quickly and closed off the highway for an hour while they cleared all the wrecked vehicles. Incredibly, everyone was able to walk away from the collision without serious injuries. Tobias noted the Model X took the brunt of the impact and was the most damaged of the involved vehicles. Ice-T was driving on Highway 170 southbound on her way to a concert. She told us traffic always gets heavy here, so she slowed down as she always does. The driver of the Jeep Liberty behind her didn't get the memo and slammed hard into the back of her Tesla. The Jeep hit her Tesla so hard it pushed it into the middle lane, which was already occupied by a BMW. Thankfully, the BMW driver reacted quickly and merged into the exit lane. Ice-T contacted the police and filed an insurance claim. Paramedics responded quickly to the scene and checked on both drivers. Thankfully, neither of them were seriously injured. The police estimated the Jeep Liberty was going at least 45 miles per hour when it collided with the Tesla, and surprise, surprise, the Jeep driver was uninsured. Thankfully, Ice-T has uninsured motorist coverage. Her insurance provider deemed the Tesla a total loss once the repair estimate exceeded $30,000. Donald's wife was waiting at a traffic signal on her way to pick up their kids from school when two motorcycle cops had set up a speed trap. They didn't have to wait long for some action. A pickup driver probably saw the cops waiting and slammed on the brakes to avoid running a red light, but the driver of a red Camaro rear-ended the pickup, pushing it across the intersection. Neither driver was hurt, and the Teslacam footage wasn't needed since the two cops had witnessed the whole event themselves. Donald's wife sent along this message: "Slow it down for the school zone." Your Teslacam captures every moment, but finding a specific video can feel like hunting for a needle in a digital haystack. That's where Key by Matter can help. This new product currently in development will be shipping in late 2024, and it promises to be the ultimate solution for effortlessly reviewing and downloading your Teslacam footage right on your phone. See incidents like honks, harsh braking, or collisions marked on an interactive map, and access the footage from any of your Tesla's 4 cameras with just a few taps. The Key by Matter makes it easy to find and share your most important footage, and it never has to leave the safety of your Tesla's glove box. If you pair it with a wireless hotspot, you can remotely access the footage from almost anywhere. In collaboration with Demo, they're also bringing additional features in an easy-to-activate extension to deliver valuable insights into your Tesla charging patterns and detailed trip logs. And by opting in to share your driving data with the Demo platform, you can even earn rewards. Right now, you can get 20% off with the exclusive Demo20 discount code. Visit the link in the description to secure your spot in the limited pre-order before it's too late. This submitter was driving home on Interstate 10 in Colton, California, when another driver suddenly stopped in front of him. He stood on the brakes in an attempt to stop, but he couldn't avoid crashing into the back of the other car. Moments after they both pulled over, the other driver fled the scene while our submitter was still on the phone with emergency operators. Sadly, the license plate number wasn't visible in the Teslacam footage, and the police are still searching for the other vehicle. Our submitter told us that any help locating the driver responsible would mean the world to him, as it would get him out of paying his insurance deductible. The repair bill came to $9,200 US, and he hopes it won't take too long to get his Tesla fixed. The question we have is, what was the other driver even doing? They pulled over to the right before diving for the median, but only to stop in front of our submitter. Was this an insurance fraud attempt? Did they cause the collision intentionally, then take off after realizing they'd been hit by a Tesla loaded with cameras? Let us know your theory in the comments. Alex was preparing to turn left into a bank parking lot, waiting for a gap so he could cross oncoming traffic. I think we all know what's about to happen, so cue up the suspense track. Alex told us traffic stopped to let him through, but he suddenly felt a large impact. A driver had taken to the shoulder to cut around traffic, and with no way for Alex to see them coming, they slammed into him. Police arrived and found the other driver 100% responsible and gave them a citation for driving on the shoulder. Alex filed an insurance claim, and he told us the whole process was a nightmare that took 2 months. In the end, they decided to fix his car, and the repair bill reached $15,000 US. Alex wanted to shout out his dad for letting him borrow his car while repairs were being completed. Adnan was driving his Model Y on the Verrazano Bridge in New York when a Toyota Camry rear-ended him. The Toyota driver just sped off after the collision. We have to assume the Toyota driver noticed the fender bender, so the hit and run must have been intentional. He messed up in one crucial way though. His business name and phone number were written on the side of his car. Adnan stopped and waited for police to show up, then provided them with his video evidence. He had to hire a lawyer to proceed with his claim since the other driver said he doesn't have insurance. Cindy was driving her Model 3 in Calgary, Alberta. As she came to an intersection, she proceeded straight. An oncoming Honda driver was waiting to turn left, but he turned in front of Cindy rather than yielding to her as he should have. Cindy T-boned the passenger side of the Honda. Thankfully, the occupants of both vehicles were unhurt. Cindy's insurance provider decided to write off her Tesla after the repairs exceeded $46,000 US. She ordered a new Tesla Model 3 to replace it, and she told us she feels safe driving a Tesla after experiencing this collision. Cindy also sent a message to the city of Alberta asking why there wasn't a traffic light at this intersection, and less than 30 days later, the city installed one. Needless to say, Cindy was impressed by their fast response. Hopefully the new traffic signal will prevent others from being involved in collisions here. Jason was on his way to a medical appointment when he made a right turn onto a street. Something immediately caught his attention, a fountain of water shooting into the air. Water was bubbling up from underneath a car that had crashed into a fire hydrant. He realized the collision had just happened since there were no first responders on the scene yet. Moments later, a sheriff's deputy arrived. It seemed like the driver had misjudged the turn before hitting the hydrant. Jason's kids Emma and Edwin were thrilled that Jason had caught the incident on Teslacam. They're big fans of Wham Baam Teslacam and watch it all the time while they're charging up the Tesla. But he said our videos make his wife super nervous. She's convinced a rogue Honda is gonna come out of nowhere and Honda bump them. Sadly, Jason, her fears aren't misplaced. Andy was driving to work when he noticed traffic ahead slowing down. He also slowed down before hearing a loud impact on his right. When he looked over, he noticed a box truck had struck a car. It wasn't until he arrived at work and reviewed his Teslacam footage that he realized how incredibly close the truck had come to hitting his Tesla. It looks like he hardly had an inch to spare. Yikes! Denny was waiting patiently at a red light in Fresno, California. Just as the light turned green, roll the jingle.
Jump in! Honda!
No, not that jingle, the other one.
That Tesla man can't drive. That Tesla.
As Denny was pulling forward, he noticed a white Model Y on his left that was approaching the intersection way too fast. Denny stopped just in time to avoid being T-boned. He told us the driver of the Model Y was angry after he honked at her, even though she'd clearly run a red light. It's always the white Model Ys, am I right? You'd be surprised how many videos we receive from people who'd just gotten their haircut, like this one we featured last year that must have been the most expensive haircut ever. Safo was driving his Model 3 home to San Jose, California after getting a haircut. That's when a lady hit the right side of his car while pulling out of her driveway. Pranav was driving home after getting a haircut when a Kia driver crossed the double yellow line into his lane and headed straight toward his Tesla. Pranav told us he felt the car automatically react, swerving even before he could and effectively saving him from a head-on collision. The Kia driver stopped, and Pranav walked over to make sure she was okay. She told him she'd been trying to overtake the vehicle ahead of her and hadn't seen Pranav until it was too late for her to do anything. She told him she'd been so scared she'd almost fainted. That's got to be one of the worst planned overtakes we've ever featured, especially considering it happened over a double yellow line. Stan is incredibly thankful for Tesla's full self-driving technology. While taking his brother Mark to school, he told us FSD saved them from a collision. They were driving on a main road when another driver suddenly pulled out without yielding. FSD was already in use and reacted instantly, swerving smoothly to avoid a collision. Even the windshield wipers activated as if they were trying to shoo the other car away. Stan wanted to thank Tesla for keeping them both safe, and he wanted to shout out his brother Mark for staying calm during this incident. While going through a roundabout, Jeremy was cut off by another driver who treated the yield sign like a stop sign. With the help of automatic emergency braking, Jeremy fully applied the brakes before feeling an impact from the side. A van driver had driven straight into the roundabout and into the side of Jeremy's Tesla. Both drivers stopped to exchange information. They each filed insurance claims, and Jeremy's Tesla was deemed a total loss after the repair estimate exceeded $16,000. Considering how relatively uncommon roundabouts are in the United States, it's pretty shocking how many submissions like this we receive. There are about 9,000 roundabouts in the US, far fewer than the 25,000 in the UK or the 30,000 in France, for example. While researching those numbers, we also found this little tidbit of information. Roundabouts tend to be safer than standard intersections because most collisions end up being low-speed sideswipes rather than high-speed T-bones. Class dismissed. Matthew has owned his Model 3 for just about a month now, and he's been waiting for the perfect Wham Bam moment to send us. On his way to work one morning, his search came to an end as something huge approached in the rearview mirror. As it got closer, he realized it was a convoy of police vehicles, including an armored vehicle that pulled up next to him. You'd better be on your best behavior, Matthew. The back doors of the armored vehicle were open, revealing a heavily armed SWAT team that eyeballed Matthew as they passed. I guess they weren't here for Matthew because they kept on driving, but maybe they were trying to get featured on Wham Baam Teslacam. Joking aside, Matthew told us it was pretty spectacular to see the MRAP roll up like that. We're just hoping they managed to take down whatever bad guys they were after without incident. Tomo sent us this video he captured of a Cybertruck going down the Verona 8th Mile drag strip. He told us this was the first time they'd had a Cybertruck in the street legal drag race, so everyone was excited as the silent pickup truck waited for the light next to a not-so-silent Challenger. The Cybertruck reached 96.79 miles per hour and finished the 8th mile run in 6.99 seconds. Don't forget to subscribe. We're already working on next week's episode, and it's going to be incredible, so don't miss it.